Picture this. You are constantly feeling drained after spending time with a particular friend or family member. Does that sound familiar? This is often a sign that your boundaries or lack thereof are being tested or overlooked. Boundaries are like invisible lines that we draw around ourselves to maintain our individuality and protect our mental and emotional well-being. They define what is acceptable to us and what is not. Now imagine a house without fences, walls, or doors. Anyone could walk in and out whenever they pleased, right? This is exactly what happens when we don't set boundaries in our relationships. We leave ourselves open to emotional trespassers who, intentionally or not, can drain our energy, infringe on our personal space, and disrespect our autonomy. Boundaries are not just about keeping others out, though. They're also about letting the right things in. They allow us to express our needs, desires, and values clearly and confidently. And when these boundaries are respected, we foster a sense of trust and mutual respect in our relationships. It's important to understand that every relationship, be it with a friend, family member, or partner, has its own unique set of boundaries. These boundaries could be physical, such as respecting personal space, emotional, like not belittling each other's feelings, or even communicational, like avoiding certain topics that one finds uncomfortable. Creating and maintaining these boundaries is an ongoing process. It requires self-awareness, clear communication, and consistency. It's about understanding your limits, expressing them without fear, and standing by them even when it's difficult. Just like a physical boundary that defines your home, your personal boundaries define where you end and others begin. Now imagine you are in a relationship where you feel respected and understood. How did you get there? You might be wondering, well, it's all about identifying what's important to you. That's right. It's time to pause, take a step back, and reflect on your personal needs. It's time to ask yourself some questions. What makes you feel cherished? What makes you feel overwhelmed? What are the things you absolutely need in your everyday life? And what are the things you can do without? Let's take an example. Consider a person who values their solitude. They enjoy their own company. They love the quiet moments where they can read a book, meditate, or just sit and reflect. Now, in a relationship, it's crucial for them to communicate this need for solitude, to set a boundary. They might express their need to have, let's say, a couple of hours of solitude every day. This doesn't mean they love their partner any less, it just means they need that time to recharge, to be the best version of themselves. It's important to understand that setting boundaries isn't about creating a barrier between you and your partner. It's about establishing a balance that allows both of you to flourish. It's about creating a space where mutual respect thrives. It's about being honest with each other, and most importantly, it's about being honest with yourself. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to boundaries. Your boundaries are unique to you. They are a reflection of your individual needs, your values, and your experiences. They are a roadmap to your happiness and well-being. So take some time today to reflect on your boundaries. Ask yourself what you need to feel loved, respected, and understood. It's a journey of self-discovery that will lead you to a more fulfilling relationship. Remember, your boundaries are unique to you, and they are a reflection of your needs and values. You've identified your boundaries, but how do you communicate them to others without causing conflict? A question that many of us grapple with. But fret not, the answer lies in clear, direct communication. Think about it. A relationship is like a dance. You lead, they follow. You step back, they come forward. It's a delicate balance of give and take. When it comes to setting boundaries, it's no different. You need to be the choreographer of your own dance. So how do you do it? Well, let's take a real-life example. Picture Jennifer. She's a career-oriented woman who also values her personal time. She loves her partner but doesn't want to lose herself in the relationship. So she decides to set a boundary. Jennifer approaches her partner and says, "I love spending time with you, but I also need some time alone to recharge. I hope you understand that it's not about you, it's about my needs." She's clear and direct, leaving no room for misinterpretation. She doesn't use vague language or beat around the bush. She doesn't apologize for her needs or make them seem less important. She communicates her boundary in a respectful and assertive manner. And here's the key part. She opens the door for dialogue. She invites her partner to express their feelings and concerns. This is effective communication. It's not just about expressing your needs, but also about listening to the other person's viewpoint. It's about creating an environment where both parties feel heard and respected. And remember, it's okay if the conversation doesn't go perfectly the first time. It's okay to revisit the conversation if needed. What's important is that you've taken the first step. You've communicated your boundary. So take a page from Jennifer's book. Be clear, be direct, but also be open to dialogue. It's not about setting a boundary and expecting the other person to follow it blindly. It's about creating an understanding and mutual respect for each other's needs. Effective communication is the key to having your boundaries respected. So go forth and communicate. Remember, it's your dance, choreograph it well. Setting boundaries sounds great, but it's not always easy, is it? Let's face it, we all have our own set of challenges that can make this process seem daunting. One of the most common obstacles people encounter is personal fears. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, even fear of losing relationships can all create a mental blockade that prevents us from establishing the boundaries we need. Here's the good news. These fears are natural, and you are not alone in feeling them. But it's also crucial to not let these fears rule you. Instead, let them guide you. Recognize them, understand them, and then let them lead you to growth. So, how do we overcome these challenges? One way is through therapy. A therapist can provide a safe space for you to explore your fears and learn how to manage them effectively. They can also give you tools and strategies to help you assert your boundaries in a healthy and respectful way. Self-reflection is another powerful tool. It involves taking a step back and looking at your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Ask yourself, why do I fear setting boundaries? What experiences have led me to feel this way? By understanding your own fears, you can begin to address them and move forward. And finally, practice. Like any other skill, setting boundaries takes practice. Start small. Try setting a boundary in a low-stakes situation and see how it feels. Then, gradually work your way up to more challenging scenarios. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes along the way. Each one is an opportunity to learn and grow. Remember, setting boundaries is a process, and it's okay to take small steps. It's not about perfection, but progress. So take a deep breath, gather your courage, and take that first step. Because you deserve to live a life that respects your needs, your space, and your well-being. You've set your boundaries, communicated them, and even navigated some challenges. But are you done? Not quite, my friends. The next crucial step is consistency. It's one thing to establish a boundary, but it's another to ensure it's respected over time. Let's consider, for instance, Jane. Jane has set a boundary that she needs personal time after work to recharge. She communicated this to her friends and family, and they initially respected it. But over time, they started to encroach on her space again. If Jane doesn't consistently enforce her boundary, it will eventually lose its meaning. So what does Jane do? She gently but firmly reminds them of her boundary. She doesn't waver, she doesn't make exceptions, she stays consistent. And over time, her friends and family understand that this boundary is non-negotiable. That's the power of consistency. It not only reinforces your boundaries, but also ingrains them into your relationships. It teaches people how to treat you, what you will accept, and what you won't. It's the cornerstone of maintaining your personal space, your peace, and your respect. Consistency ensures your boundaries are not just heard, but also respected. And there you have it, the roadmap to setting and maintaining boundaries in your relationships. We've journeyed through the crucial importance of boundaries in preserving our individuality, respect, and trust. We've explored the process of identifying our personal boundaries, a journey of self-reflection and understanding of our unique needs. We've discussed the art of effectively communicating these boundaries, being clear, direct, and responsive to our partner's concerns. We've tackled the common challenges in setting boundaries like personal fears and how we can overcome them through therapy, self-reflection, and practice. And lastly, we've underscored the power of consistency in enforcing boundaries, the ongoing commitment that ensures their effectiveness. Each of these steps is a vital part of the process, a unique piece of the puzzle that enables us to foster healthier, more respectful relationships. Thank you for joining Online with Teresa today. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts on setting boundaries in the comments below. Remember, your boundaries are the key to your happiness and well-being.